Joining me on the podcast is Angie Chandler. She's the Crawford County Dog Warden.
Hi.
Hi, glad to finally meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Thank you. Dog Warden, what does a dog warden do? We'll start off by that.
Well, everybody, has the image of the old dog catcher, and they're gonna catch
with
your
the net
dog
and all that,
with the net, and take them to the dog pound, put them down, and all that stuff. And we're more modern. We are guided by Ohio Revised Code 959, and anybody can, or 955, excuse me, and you can go in on the web and look that up. What we do, dog wardens, basically we do stray dogs. Dog licensing, because the state of Ohio requires every dog, no matter if they live inside and never go outside ever in their lives, to have a dog tag or dog license. I tell people it's kind of like the laws for owning a car. Dogs are property in the state of Ohio, and it's kind of like a car. You got to license it every year in order to drive it on the road. You got to have a dog license in order to keep a dog over the age of 3 months of age. And you can purchase those at the auditor's office or the Humane Society. And that registration is usually December 1st to January 31st. That season has just ended for registration. So now we have our penalties that are applied. If you did not get your dog tag, you're now going to pay double.
Yeah, and I had that happen to me before.
Yes.
I just forgot all about it. I'm like, it's February 1st. Oh no.
Oh no, yeah, day late. It's
right.
And people will, they want us to waive the penalty or whatever, because especially for COVID and stuff like that.
Sure.
And the Ohio Revised Code does not give us that option. Last year, the whole state extended that out to July because of COVID, because auditors' offices and everybody was shut down for a couple of months there and stuff. So, but that was a statewide thing. It was not something that our commissioners could make that decision on. So, now you got to pay the penalty, and it says equal to the cost of the tag, and that's statewide. It's not just county.
Yeah. So don't get mad at you guys. It's statewide.
Don't get mad at us, and
right.
And I mean, we do try to remind people. We try to, people that we know are late, regularly. We try to give them a warning. Hey, guess what? January's coming up, and hey, January 31st next week.
Right.
My Facebook page, I had a post up all last week. Don't forget,
Yeah.
here's your dog tag.
Yeah.
This morning, I put another one up concerning the penalties. So, but you can always call my office if you have a question about dog tags, dogs running at large, any of that stuff.
Now, can you only get a year tag? Can you get longer, or is it just always a year?
The auditor's office sells 1 year, 3 year, and what's called a lifetime tag.
Okay.
For your dog. The 3-year tag, of course, is for 3 years, $48, and the lifetime tag is basically 10 years.
Okay.
That's the average lifespan of a dog.
So
it's 160. So
okay.
for that tag, but then you wouldn't have to worry about it for the life of that dog.
Sure.
Now, when you purchase a dog tag, it's for that dog. It's not your tag; it's the dog's tag. So if you rehome the dog, the tag is supposed to go with them.
Okay.
With the dog.
Yeah.
Most people don't know that. And then that person is supposed to transfer it over. It's a $5 fee.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I did not know that.
Call the auditor's office, or stop in and transfer that tag over to that new person and that new address. Because if we pick a dog up and it's got the tag on the collar, we'll bring it home once if there's somebody there to contain the dog. But the second time, we got to take it to the Humane Society. But a dog tag is the easiest and the legal way to get the dog back to the owner.
Right, right.
Microchips are nice, but they're not required by state law.
So what happens if my dog gets out and you guys pick that dog up? Where do I go from there? What do I need to do?
Call the Humane Society or call my office. All of our dogs go to the Humane Society if we don't know an owner. And they are my holding facility. They house my dogs, they feed my dogs and take care of them. If an owner does, we have 3 business days that we hold the dogs for an owner to come if it's unlicensed. If it has a license, it's 14 days.
Okay.
Now, there's a fee, a reclaim fee, $25 the first day, $15 for each day after that. And that's paid to the Humane Society, and they do all that paperwork. No dog can leave the shelter without a valid license, so expect to pay for your license, and if you didn't renew, then it's $32.
Right.
So, I mean, 1 day hold, you're looking at almost $60 for the dog tag and the license and the reclaim fee. So, but it's not hundreds. I've had people say, well, it's going to cost me $300. No, it's not. It's not the first time.
Right.
Not the first time. You know, if it's a continuous issue and we're picking the same dog up, you usually the second, third time, depending on the situation, you could get cited from our office. It's a minor misdemeanor, the first offense for running at large. It is an M4 for a second offense.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So
you could get jail time for your dog running at large. So, and if it's a third time, your dog could be deemed dangerous or a nuisance dog. So there's a lot of things that can happen just because your dog's out running. If it's hit by a car, you're liable for that car accident.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That's what I'm always worried about. My dog get out and hurt somebody. You know, hurt, damage your car, hurt somebody. Right.
Right, and a lot of people don't realize that. They think it's the person driving the car, and it's not that way. It's the same as a vehicle.
Right.
If your vehicle does damage to somebody else, you're liable for that damage. So, you know, try to keep your dogs. There's plenty of ways nowadays to keep your dogs at home.
There is, yes.
Yeah, and we are really good. We'll come check fences. We'll walk your property line. We'll do whatever we can to try to help you keep your dog contained. We try to be as helpful and educational as we can be. It's not required by law, and we don't have to be that way, but we are, because we're here to serve the community.
You're not the mean old dog warden that goes driving around looking for dogs that are.
No. And if I take a dog to the shelter, it's not going to be killed.
Right.
I get that so often.
Yeah, you hear that rumor. Yeah.
Because back in the day, the dog warden did not have the ability to keep dogs and adopt them out. Those policies were not in place, and that's changed. I mean, we are, 2022. We're not in the 1900s, early 1900s. So, and those laws haven't changed for over 100 years. So that's pretty long time.
So, heaven forbid your dog gets out. Call you guys. Should they call you and say, "Listen, my dog is out. I can't find he or she." And
yes, we'll help you find it.
Because things happen. I've had a dog get out before.
Well, it's a dog. And it's the same with dog bites. People are scared to call us because dog bite, or a victim will contact us because if a dog bites a human, the state requires a 10-day quarantine on that dog, and then a rabies vaccination for release. So we get involved in that just on the enforcement end of that quarantine, but people don't want to call us because, we're going to take their dog, or whatever, and you're not going to be in trouble. It's a 10-day quarantine that you do at home,
right.
Unless you can't, and then you can have it housed somewhere else, but that's at your cost. So we try not to take them because it's a neurological disease. Rabies is. So if the early signs, we're not going to pick up on because we don't know your dog. Right, sure. You do.
Sure, yeah.
So you're going to know if your dog's acting funny.
Right.
So we try to work with people as best we can, keep the dogs in the home, and it's just a lot easier and a lot safer for everybody if you can keep your dog at home.
So you get it. You know how dogs are. You know what they do.
Yes, I have done dogs. I started doing dogs when I was 12 years old. And I'm very good at reading a dog. I'm very good at the dog behavior end of it. That's where my brain goes. I understand what the dog is thinking probably a lot better than I do people most times.
Right.
So I understand the behavior of a dog. Maybe not your dog specifically, but the general instinct behavior of a dog. And I can tell when a dog is scared, if a dog is aggressive, if it's mean. And sometimes I can even pick up on why that dog is acting that way. And we try to do the safest, even in our captures for dogs running at large, we try to do the best that we can to safely and securely capture the dog and with no harm. People see us with the bite poles, the big long sticks with the loop on the end, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're going to choke it to death." No, that's to secure the dog, to keep it safe down there. It can bite that pole all at once. It might bite its tongue or its cheek or whatever, and it might bleed. But it's not because we're doing anything. The dog is reacting to that bite pole. But it's better than it biting somebody else or biting us or running in traffic and getting hit or causing an accident. So we try to do it as quickly as we can and get the dog off the pole as quickly as we can. We don't like to use the pole anymore when we have to, but sometimes you have to. Dogs don't know me.
Right, sure.
You know, and dogs don't like everybody they meet. I don't care if you have the friendliest therapy dog that's been trained for everything. They may be non-reactive, but I tell people all the time, I don't like everybody I meet. Why would your dog?
My father always said dogs are a good judge of character.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I don't expect every dog to like me. As soon as they see me, dogs usually respond pretty good, but that doesn't mean every dog's going to.
Sure.
And I don't expect them to.
Sure. How does somebody get a hold of your office if something happens, their dog gets out?
Okay, Monday through Friday, our office is open from 8 to 4:30. Our calls are forwarded to our cell phones when we're out on the road and we're not in the office. We don't have a dispatch. And after hours or on weekends, holidays, you know, stuff like that, you can always reach us through the local police departments or through the sheriff's department. We may not always come out, especially after hours.
Sure.
Bad weather and that kind of stuff. We may not always come out. If the dog's just running around, it's not bothering anybody, it will go home. Honest, it will go home. It might take them a little while, but the more you chase them, sometimes the farther away from home they go.
Sure.
But in this, especially in bad weather, dogs don't go very far from their home. They're usually within a mile, which is, most people don't understand that.
Right.
But we're not going to come out for that. We're going to come out for what we classify emergencies, which is a dog attacking someone or something, a dog in traffic, public safety, and dog bites. Usually we can talk to them, the owners, over the phone if we know an owner. But if it's a stray, we will come out on a dog bite. But other than that, or if the police departments or sheriff, you know, we get dogs out of cars that are in accidents and things like that. But that's basically what we come out for. But just because you have a dog show up at your door, we're not going to come out for that. But anybody can take that dog and take it over to the Humane Society. And they do have night drops there. They're safe haven area. And you know, I have people bring them there all the time, call the sheriff's department because the doors aren't locked or aren't unlocked or whatever. And yeah, I will come down. If it's really bad weather, I'm not.
Yeah, sure.
You know, just hang on to the dog and we'll take care of it the next day or on Monday. But usually you find an owner posted on Facebook and usually you have an owner within a couple hours.
Reminder, get your dog tags if you haven't yet.
Yes.
You're going to pay more, but get them. You have to. It's
Yes.
the law.
It's the law. So,
thank you so much, Angie.
thank you for having me.
Thank you.